Uh, when you hired an attorney, you are considered a ward of the state, an imbecile and incompetent. Here it is, right in the Corpus Juris Scrotum, Volume 7, Section 4. Yeah, the attorney, farm guard, attorney HTM. You are about to learn why the attorney cannot help you, and you the way you always been led to believe, and they cannot do that. And here is why. The reason is you are considered a ward of the state, and it's because your mother signed you your record of live birth as an informant, ultimately acting as a trustee of the executor, father, estate, and in doing so, she unknowingly signed away the property, the child of executor, the father, to the state. If married, she acting as a co-executor of the state, or the capacity of the trustee, one with authority to assign over property. Your mother abandoned you at birth, and have you noticed the mother's address already pre-typed in the box of the boxes? Have you noticed that no address is for the father and the COB? And have you noticed it's the address of the mother's maiden name in that box? And have you noticed they had the mother signed as an informant, not the father? Look here, what I found. The state of Oklahoma is very own instruction of completing the birth certificate. Signature of parents. Have parents review the certificate, live birth of accuracy. Read statement contained in this section and sign this section carefully. Certificate. Certify the accuracy of the certificate. We suggest that you ask only the mother to sign the birth certificate. Never have a parent sign a blank or incomplete certificate. Now why would the depth of the health and Department of Health and Vital Statistics teach doctors, nurses, and hospital administrators to coerce and the mother into signing the certificate of live birth instead of the father, who is the executor of the state? It's because the executor is the highest office of the estate, and the state does not care to deal with him. They would rather go after the informant trustee instead, attempting to administrate an estate without written authorized consent of the executor, or very costly people going to prison. But if they are coerced the mother informant trustee to sign over the property, then they have a legal leg to stand on. Here's David Clarence explaining the executive office and what they are doing you via a birth certificate. Yeah, they taking it off the plate and taking your dad in the birth certificate. You are all the ward of the state when you sign that birth certificate. Yeah. Note, the estate must come before the trust, and the state issues the child a birth certificate, which create a new estate, the legal fiction corporate of you, in which they were the creator of. One, the woman is her own estate, in which she excruciates if she reached legal age. If not, her father is the executor of her estate until that time. Number two, the man is his own estate, in which he is the executor once he become legal age or marries. Until then, his father is the executor of the estate. When they get married from the trust, form a trust. The woman estate now become property of man. The two of them become together and have a child. A woman cannot offspring only the man, therefore the child is property of the executor estate until he or she reach the legal age. The father is never made aware of this fact. The state coerced the mother into signing the record of live birth as an informant, acting as a trustee. By doing this, she is acting as a trustee of executor state, the father, and giving the child to the state, ultimately abandoning the child. The state runs an ad to a local paper announcing the birth and abandonment of child. They leave out the abandoned wording, and it was a public notice and due process of law. Number 11, the executor father has never shown up to claim his abandoned property. So the state take ownership and fulfill the due process by which way the public notice of the newspaper. The doctor send the record to the live birth and to the state health department and vital statistics. Now the child is an orphan, a ward of the state abandoned by its mother. By birth announcement she signed as an informant. The state send the record to a live birth to a register office, and where the new estate is created and now both placed on probate. The state record live birth and hide its way away the vault and never it to be seen again. Now to be used as a security instrument to back the nation's debt. The future label of the child, which is now on one stock share in foreign corporation, United States or capital. They split the title, create the known and the certificate of live birth, and send the newly created office, the COLB, to the child in the mail. His or her new identity, and when the child reaches legal age, he can now become an occupant of the executor office and that newly created estate, but is never made aware of this. Note, the state cannot do business with or enter the contract with the living, breathing person, human and being. And this is why they create the certificate, aka certificate of death, which is the office of a newly created corporate you, the fictitious entity, the presumption in law you, and then had to turn you into a corporation so they can control you by way of contract using trust, estate, and probate law. Note, Assessor QKV Act 1666 made up all dead at birth. Cast beyond the sea, lost at sea. That's where the dead into the world it could be. And if one day we all ever return from the sea, announce that we are alive and take lawful throne and executor of our own estate, here is on the UK government website and with complete instruction of how announcing you're alive, occupied executive office. Yeah. Now the child grow up and remain incompetent, ward of the state, because she never step up and assume their proper role as executrix of their own estate once they reach the legal age. And now the adult use the COLB as their own sole source of identity, even though the state advised not to use its identity. Can you say incompetent just as they not to use the SS card as identity? And now incompetent adult, aka ward of the state, use the COB and to get the driver license, social security card, checking account, etc. No audit implemented or masquerading around town as a certified live birth as identity to get other objects coerced, and then basically acting as an agent of foreign corporation known as the United States or capital, and is now obligated to pay any tax, income tax, excise tax, property tax, ultimately be subject to the state. And now you are obligated to abide by their statute, rules, and regulation. Note, there is a catch to number 17. There is a presuming you are employee of the corporation. But if you are not receiving a paycheck and there is no employment contract and they cannot provide proof of pay, then why do we have to do you work for free? Can they compel you to work for free? The estate of the office, you are the occupant of the office, corporate fixing you, and the occupant of the office, should you be paid for your service? Yeah, you have lost your inherent right and have been granted right of privilege. Instead, 14th Amendment U.S. citizen. I wrote more on this there. Though Daddy never showed up to claim his property, and the state took it upon themselves to adopt you, the child. Take it as their own. The child is not considered a ward of the state, an incompetent bastard child with no father, no mother, abandoned him and her. And the certificate of live birth has a state, a seal, and register signature, which is certified proof that the estate is not or has been probate. The register is the court of probate, and the probate deals with the estate. of the dead. Hence, the legal fiction name and the certificate like birth is presumption of law and other use. To the court, you are dead legal fiction entities, ward of the state, bastard, child, orphan, and they do not wish to deal with us directly. This is why they want you to speak to them, the judge, through one of their own bar attorney. The bar attorney has the superseding oath to the bar, aka British Accreditation Registry. Their first loyalty is to the court. They are there to lead the sheep to their slaughter, and the undertaker in the black robe, the judge, is administering the estate of incompetent, and his main object is to mark revenue for the state, which is acting the beneficiary of the estate, and you are being put into the trustee position for your own estate. Wake up before it's too late. The government is fraudulent. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. And now you understand why the Lord is said, woe unto ye lawyers, a bar attorney, first allegiance to the crown, not you. They are there to mark you, make you believe someone is fighting for you, but the truth of the matter is, they are there to help presume administer of your estate. The bar attorney wearing black robe undertaker make as much money as possible for the court himself and the state. Read it again at the top of the post, write out the corpus juris secundum. You are the ward of the state, the imbecile, a menace to society, incompetent. And that is the truth. Take it as you will. Note, I am not saying all attorneys are scumbags, but they intentionally trying to harm you. Some of them know that what they are doing, and some of them probably truly believe they are doing the best they can to help the client, but it is all about the estate. It is all about the money. It is all about your slavery unjustly enriching the state in the end. It is a constructive fraud upon you as from life birth, and that is your heartfelt opinion. Take it as you will. Disclaimer. This is not a legal advice. Do your own due diligence and study the law and make your own determination, as it is a validity of this post. And this is my opinion from what I've heard from others, and I'm sharing it with you, so you can have a discussion on the topic at hand. And that is not legal advice. Homeboy, take it to the head, never take it nice. Cause these motherfuckers, they not pay nicely, man. Why should you, man? Fuck, man, you know? It's your money. It's your honey. It's your property.